Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. We've got a great lineup once again, as we do every day. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. We're going to be talking about Sri Lankan cricket, who have announced the 15-member squad that will be touring Pakistan for a series of 3 one-day internationals and 3 T20s against Pakistan women cricket team. The Sri Lankan women cricket side will be led by Chamari Atapattu, their skipper, who is in sublime form, be it league cricket or be it international cricket as well. She's truly performing well, and I do think that Sri Lanka is bringing some good competition for our girls in green as well. The girls in green are involved in their practice sessions, batting, bowling and fielding. The drills are underway in Karachi. All the matches will be played in Karachi, 3 T20s and 3 one-days. The series will start with 3 T20s and then of course moving on to the one-days as well. But as far as the calendar is concerned, very busy. Bisma Maroof is of course going to lead the side. After that, we will be discussing football. In football, we will be discussing UEFA and FIFA politics as well. But before that, of course, it's the under-19 trials that have started once again. The Pakistan Cricket Board has spent about 10 million rupees on age verification of these under-19 players. This has been the biggest problem in Pakistan cricket, and that is of course the age of players playing youth cricket. They've been overage. Some of them have used something very magical and have stayed 19 even after 7 years. I'm surprised how these things happen. Some of these players were 20 when I was very young. They're still 19 and I'm getting old. So we need to find out the secret what it is. So we will be discussing that. And then of course in football, moving on to UEFA and FIFA as well. Everything that is happening there, the change of formats, how things are changing, what is the vision FIFA wants to implement now to keep football alive and keep their commercial activities alive as well. FIFA president has called for unity in his address to the UEFA Congress as well. He has thanked UEFA for constructive dialogue. Obviously, there are certain issues that need to be resolved, and new format for men's competitions has also been announced. The Champions League is also going to feature 36 teams from the year 2024 onwards. That's what we're discussing in today's show. Time now to start off our program and also to give you the latest update that the Asian Games have been postponed again. Now this is of course big news because the preparations were there. These games, obviously first we had a wave of COVID that hampered every sport, and now Asian Games that were due to be held this year have been postponed once again due to the spread of the COVID-19 variant, that is Omicron, and they were due to take place on the 10th of September this year. Very, very alarming. More than 11,000 athletes had to participate, but it's very unfortunate. Earlier, we've had the Olympic Games delayed as well. Then, of course, in the manner they were held, were very particular, very restricted, and now the Asian Games have been postponed due to fears of COVID-19 rising once again. That's all that we're discussing on today's show. Now the guest, first of all, for cricket, we've been joined by cricket expert and commentator Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, I'm good, Ahmed.
Good to have you on the show. We've also been joined by cricket expert Sabir Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, sir, how are you? Sir, long time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming as well. Good to have you. Now, Sri Lanka have announced their squad. Chamari Atapattu, like I said, is a phenomenal leader, phenomenal player herself. But Sri Lanka squad has a lot of diversity.
Yes, Sri Lankan team have announced their squad and we have announced our captain. So there's the difference now. And our captain is Bisma Maroof. Their captain is Chamari Atapattu. And you were talking about her batting. If you see a record, I mean, for a long time she's been playing, and 32 years of age. And recently they were playing in Bangladesh. They beat Bangladesh in Bangladesh. And if you see the highest innings of Chamari Atapattu, you'll be amazed because 178. And of course, you know that a batter, and especially in women cricket, if you're playing long innings like this, it must be appreciated. And of course, their captain would be trump card against Pakistan. And if you talk about overall performances, Pakistan played 12 matches against Sri Lanka, and the record is something equal. They've won 6, we've won 6, and Bisma Maroof, the captain of Pakistan, she scored 322 against Sri Lanka. So I think, and if you see the practice sessions are going on from the Pakistan side, and they've been in Karachi for a long time, and the different drill sessions, they're batting, bowling, and then fielding, and then a fitness training as well. So I think when you see their bowling and batting comparison with the Pakistan, Sri Lanka is a really strong side. If you talk about their bowler, the Amma, she is Chankana, Amma Chankana. She is the best bowler for the Sri Lankan side. And then we're going to looking forward the way Pakistan team announced, because only we have seen the captain, and captain is Bisma Maroof. So if you see the comparison of two captains, I think the Atapattu got the good record, the captain of Sri
Absolutely.
Lanka.
I think it's not just the record, it's the batting record as well, because Chamari is averaging more than 30 when it comes to one international cricket, and her strike rate in T20 is above 100, while Bisma Maroof averages only about 28, 27 in one days, and her strike rate in T20s is just in the 90s. So probably that is a huge difference as well.
So could you tell me that why still she is the captain?
I thought you're the man with PCB connections. Or are you missing someone?
Honestly not.
But I think that is the case. But Sabir, first of all, I think it's a good sign that we're getting women's cricket, first of all. But then again, it needs to be of that caliber and quality from our players as well, that we can look to the future.
I mean, Sri Lankan basically team, thanks to them, they are coming to Pakistan on 19th of May. It will be, a wonderful opportunity for both teams. I mean, especially for Pakistani girls, especially for parents as well. I mean, we would like to see the matches will be played in Karachi. I think the parents should encourage their daughters to go and see and watch their stars, girls stars live, because in Pakistan, we have been suffering in the sports activities. So I mean, the Sri Lankan women cricket team is they are coming into Pakistan and playing matches in Karachi. So I mean, it will be a wonderful advantage for Pakistani women. It will be a big step for PCB to promote the women's cricket in Pakistan. The women's cricket culture in Pakistan. And obviously, Bisma Maroof will be leading the side, and 2000 till 2023, it will be a good sign for for Bisma Maroof to captaining Pakistani side as well.
It's a good sign for her, but not for Pakistan cricket that she's captaining.
you have some other options like Nida Dar as some other girls for performance. I mean, you have to have some experience as well. So Bisma Maroof, I think she got some edge, I think, as far as the captaincy is concerned.
Yeah, Sabir is a fan. I've judged that already. But I think that's a very important point, Asif, that at least take your daughters, women of your house, young girls, so they can see the match, understand the atmosphere, and then develop a liking for the game itself.
Rightly said by Sabir, and really important point. You have raised that when the Pakistani girls and the Pakistani females, they're watching cricket, they're playing cricket in our grounds, and international teams are coming. Earlier on we have played against Windies, and then we're playing against Sri Lanka, and now Pakistan got a really busy schedule for long, and Pakistan will be going to Ireland, and Ireland will be visiting Pakistan. Pakistan will be playing in England, and so really busy schedule. What does it mean that you're giving some confidence to your to your females, to your ladies, to your girls, that now this is the time to prove yourself? And earlier on we were discussing that the way the trials have been held around the country, and we have watched and we have observed that PCB is showing keen concern concerning women cricket. And Chairman PCB earlier on, he announced the women PSL as well. So the momentum is gaining. So what does it mean that to bring up your girls, bring up your ladies in the game, in the cricket, give them some confidence, and that's why I'm always really enthusiastic about the sports, especially cricket. And when you see that
but one more very important thing, sorry to interrupt you, which you've always stressed, is school cricket. You have always stressed that.
Actually, I have played school cricket, Ahmed, and I was an opening batter in my school time, and that when we talk about the school cricket, when we talk about the young talent in Pakistan, definitely you'll be getting talent from the school cricket. And after that, I was the captain of college team, and I played for Punjab University. I played for Arid University as well. So and that's why I'm saying.
Did you have a complete role in selection of players as well? Did you have friendships there?
In cricket or anywhere, and especially if you talk about cricket, I do not bother about friendships. I do not bother about uncle's son. I do not talk about my cousins and whatsoever. Why? Because when you talk about accountability, so accountability starts from yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know why you are saying this, and I don't want to mention that, but honestly, if you want to do something better for the cricket of Pakistan, accountability accountability is really important. Without the accountability, either in the school cricket, either in the college cricket, and then move on to the national.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you require accountability.
Absolutely. Sabit, let's be very honest. We had a horrible Women's World Cup. After that, there should have been accountability first, and then probably we should have announced a captain and a squad.
You know, we don't have a culture of accountability in Pakistan cricket, especially. If you go back a couple of seasons ago, Misbah and Waqar, basically Waqar was heading fast bowling coaching staff for so many tenures, but I mean no accountability. Even the PCB chairmen, I mean some massive decisions were made in 2010. Again, the committee
But
was.
Sabir, if you ask any question concerning Waqar Yunus, you won't be happy, honestly.
No. That's very true. I think players have said it as well.
Accountability, in 2010, in 2011 World Cup as well, so many committees were made. There were some findings as well, but
What happened? Nothing.
What for? Exactly. Accountability, performance has to perform. You have to give them confidence rather than putting stick on them that you have to play.
I mean, let me just give you a very common example. The state of accountability in Pakistan cricket is to an extent where the PCB has to spend 10 million rupees just to judge the age of your under-19 cricketers.
By the way, I'm 19 years old.
So you're going to trials in Sindh?
Yeah.
Interior Sindh.
I'm going to give the trials.
So how long have you been 19?
Under 19. So I mean, we have some issues in past as well. So many cricketers, were basically not disclosing their age properly. So there has been an issue for decades, but a good decision for PCB, because rather than going abroad and some other countries are finding such kind of, it's going to be a embarrassment.
But hopefully you never know. After 6 months, we figure out that the tests were bogus. So you never know. But Asif, have you ever had friends who were younger than you and older than you, and they were playing under 19, and now you're getting older, they're still playing under 19?
If you allow me, I'll answer.
Yes, please.
Honestly?
Yes.
All right, guys. This guy once again is in, he's kidding, But honestly, if you talk about this test, earlier on in the previous years, we have seen that wrist tests have been made, and the axis of your wrist. But now they've spending 10 million rupees. What does it mean? There is lots of question mark on your age. And I'm not mentioning name, but let me mention the name. One of the famous cricketer, I'm not saying finest, I'm saying the famous cricketer of the Pakistan, and who has created a history in one-day cricket and scored a century and 37 deliveries. Shahid Khan Afridi has written in his book that when I made this century, I was not the 17. So this is the level of your accountability. And that's why PCB is spending a huge amount. And
this is 2 days continuously you're talking about.
I want to share one experience.
Yes,
I mean, I was playing cricket on a provincial level. I was playing for Larkana, and I had to go to Jagmabad as well. So we all were basically 12th standard students were playing cricket. And one cricketer at that particular time, he was 20 plus,
And he was playing with you?
Yeah. So he has to play, against us. And we were basically, coming from Larkana, we were young guys. I was the captaining of side. So he basically smashed all over the parks. He made a 80 plus something.
Sabir, please don't follow me. He's a naughty guy. You're talking about your friends all the time.
The age verification system should be followed, should be implemented
on
properly.
international standards.
It is standards and should be implemented especially in rural areas. Go back to some small areas in Sindh, in Punjab, and also Balochistan, KPK, rather than focusing on Lahore National Cricket Academy. You have to go to some interior areas, because the talent is basically there. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Junaid Khan, Shaheen Shah Nawaz Dahani, you just name it. All these talents are coming from rural areas of KPK, of Sindh, of Balochistan and Punjab. So PCB has to implement it properly, and they have to go like Lahore Qalandars has been doing fantastic job. The Aqib Javed, Rana brothers as well. They are basically finding the talents from rural areas, from grassroots level. This is the role of PCB. If you are basically trying to make an age verification, should go to some small cities of Pakistan.
Absolutely.
And yes. In club cricket, we've been told by our managers, our presidents,
to change their age.
Yes, make fake certificates.
On the very first day.
Yes,
and
if you want to play cricket.
Even I was told this, to actually, go a couple of years back. Imagine that.
I scored 72 not out and in a club match. And when I went outside, and there were some people were sitting there, and the other the presidents of the other clubs, and they asked me, "What's your age?" And So it is there, but my president said 17. I said I'm 17. On that time I was 21. So this is what
But you
happened.
still look 19.
Yeah, but,
can actually
but I'm
go
not
with
ready
that.
for the test. But I'm not ready for the test.
He doesn't want to go through tests, but on the lighter side of it, we just want to keep.
I'm
things
available
funny.
for coaching, by the way.
No, but you're still under 19.
No, I'm available for coaching. Man.
But it is a messed up system. I think even if you want to implement international standards, I'll be very honest. I don't think anywhere in other countries, cricket developed nations, you will actually have those problems. So if you contact them, they will say, what is this phenomenon of overaging? We never even know this. I think this is one of the reasons.
And let me share one
Yes,
thing,
please.
if you allow me,
Yeah,
Saber.
please.
Yes, that one of the recent players, and I'm telling this, and I'm owning this, one of the recent players, he is playing on his younger brother's name. Let's go.
Yes, Sabir.
So there were some issues in blind cricket as well. They were not. A couple of players were not blind. So there has to be, if you have some rules that should be implemented and follows. That
Are you saying we can play blind cricket now? But you have to give them credit. They perform better.
I'm not talking about Pakistan, but internationally, we are not. Pakistanis are not basically victims, but some other countries as well. A couple of years ago, some Indian.
No, we're never the victims. We're always the crooks. We're not the victims.
In club cricket, if we are not teaching ethical values, this is what we are.
What we discussed yesterday as well,
yes. How you are expecting them to behave like a respectable citizen when they're playing for the national side.
And I think that's why we have problems on the international level.
Yes, you're teaching them to cheat. Yes, look, bringing fake certificate for to play the under 19 or under 16. What does it mean that you are putting in his mind, a youngster's mind, that yes, you can cheat anywhere?
Yeah, the system won't.
This and it's a really common thing.
But it's a problem at large, Sabir, because you work with the youth. This is a very serious problem. If we're doing that on a grassroots level, and what Asif says that we don't have accountability, you can never change them afterwards.
Yes. Basically, it's the responsibility of the head of the department. But you cannot control properly. But you can have a check and balance on a quarterly basis. PCB should inspect on quarterly basis. They should send their teams on different departments or different cities as well. So accountability has to be there. But yes, there has been a problem. But the age verification is a bigger problem. This has to be verified in Pakistan rather than the players are having their tickets and they're going abroad during the tournament. If somebody other verifies it, so it's kind of embarrassment as a nation, as a country, as a cricket fan as well. So this has to be implemented properly. This is what I said.
Sabir, a man who scored a century in 37 deliveries, writing his autobiography after 20 years and writing that I was not on that
Why are you talking about him so much? The second day you're after him. What's wrong with
I'm not after him.
He's gone. He's left cricket. Come on, Asif.
But he's an icon, dear. And
He was an icon.
Our youth follow him blindly. And that's why I'm saying that
Sir,
you'd have to teach characteristics, dear. You'd have to teach.
Lethal mode.
No, sorry.
The young players should be kept properly. Like Naseem Shah was a very youngster. He has been brought into cricket in test match level very quickly. Again, he got injured.
Not taken care of.
He got injured. We basically lost so many superstars like Hassan Raza as well. If you could remember, Junaid Khan, a very youngster. Shaheen Shah Afridi, he has been overloaded as well. So we have basically lost so many youngsters because of they are basically picking them from under 19 age and putting them in the international level, especially test matches. You have a different surface, Australian different surface, England is a different surface. Shoaib Akhtar basically has mentioned so many times. You have different surfaces. If you are a fast bowler, you are running on the ground, your muscles has to be stronger, your knees has to be stronger. But this is also a big problem for Pakistan. They basically bring so many superstars and the world basically is appreciating, you have so many youngsters performing it at the age of 19.
Yes.
But this has to be kept properly.
I think it's a policy decision that needs to be taken, and we're going to discuss this further, but right after this short break, because we've got interesting things to discuss regarding this. Is a very vast topic to figure out some more things as well, but right after a short break. Welcome back to Sports Extra. Before the break, we were discussing the fact about under-19 cricket. So the news is that under-19 trials are in progress, and what the PCB has done for those trials, they have spent about a good amount of 10 million rupees on age verification of these players. Now, the PCB spending 10 million rupees might not be alarming because in Pakistan things are a mess. But why do they have to go through that process? Why has the system been so corrupt is the real question. And of course, me, Asif and Sabir have all reached a conclusion that there is the dire need of steps being taken on the grassroots level to ensure that these things are eliminated before they are able to reach. But what I was saying during the break, and Asif, you would agree that we would love to see the results of these tests and then gauge what is going to happen.
That's right. And Ahmed, these things must be coming from your family. Your parents must be teaching you that if you're going anywhere in any field, just one thing keep in your mind, and that is the honesty. So, and one thing, see, if you are planning for yourself that I want to become a cricket star, and I want to be leading the Pakistan side, and I want to be playing for the green flags, and I'll be putting on this green jersey. After this, if you are keeping in your mind, keep one thing in your mind, that you are the ambassador of the Pakistan, you're ambassador of the nation. And if you do anything bad, anything wrong, it would definitely comes towards your country. And if you do anything good and anything for the better
positive,
of the, positive and the betterment of your country, everyone should appreciate you. So I think in club cricket, in last couple of months, I've been observed that now people are keep telling that we want original certificates.
So things are changing.
Things are changing. Minds are changing actually.
Or maybe Nadra has become more vigilant now. You never know. But so, Sabir, what would you like to add now? Finally, our youth is listening. For those who are to go to these trials.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good initiative, but I mean, I would love to see that this should be implemented properly at grassroots level in small areas of Pakistan, as I mentioned earlier as well. So, basically, there has been so much talent in Pakistan who are basically real under 19. They are basically suffering. What about them? They have been practicing really hard. They are not financially really strong, but they have some proper age and documentation as well. But if their rights are being snatched, so that's really disappointing as well.
Absolutely.
So self-actualization is very important.
Very important. Final question, might not be related to this, but I have to ask you, it is somewhat related, that what I've seen is a player who is under 17, 18 years, if he goes to these under 19 trials, he's rejected. And when he is rejected, the reason what selectors give him is that you still have 2 more years, we'll select you in the last year. Why not select him, then keep him with the squad, develop him for that under 19 culture?
This is called politics, and your cricket politics starts from the club, even from the schools as well. You know that if you're in liking and in disliking, really important. If you are in liking of the president of the club, he will promote you. If he doesn't like you, even you are good, he won't promote you. And things are happening like this.
Absolutely.
And we do not appreciate this culture.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Sabir. Thank you very much, Asif, for joining us on Sports Extra. Great having you. It's been a constructive discussion. I think we've highlighted all the things that were there to be highlighted, and things have to change. It's very important. 10 million rupees have been spent this year. We don't want 20 million rupees to be spent next year. We want accountability, and we want it thorough with a policy decision. That's how things will change. Moving on to football now, where we have to discuss UEFA and things happening at the helm of affairs in FIFA as well, how things are changing. There are a lot of things that are there to be discussed, and to discuss them further, we've been joined by football journalist Samindra Kunti. Samindra, hello, how are you? Welcome to Sports Extra. We'll have Samindra online in just a moment. We've got a technical issue. We'll try to resolve that as well. But like I'm saying, that things are changing, and we want to see a lot more coming from FIFA as well. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has called for unity in his address to UEFA as well. He's thanked UEFA for a constructive dialogue. We know that the World Cup is coming up very soon. New formats for men's competition have been announced as well. So there are a lot of changing. The Champions League format changes to the Champions League as well, with 36 teams from 2024. Fifth place team in the tier, with respectively being given a Champions League spot. First it used to be the top 4. Then the new format, seeing initial phase, contained one single league table, which includes all teams with a league format as it's more commonly known. Top 8 going through to the knockout stage, while those from 9th to 24th will compete in a 2-leg playoff to progress as well. So somewhat, that playoff format, eliminator, qualifier, what we've seen in cricket, trying to bring those things back as well. Will it change? Will it not? Only time will tell, but it's probably to keep the commercial aspect of Football Alive. We'll discuss this further. We've been joined by football journalist Samindra Kunti. Samindra, hello, how are you? Welcome to Sports Extra.
Nice to meet you. Just got here in time. Hope you are doing well.
I'm very well. Great to have you. Now, a lot of things are changing from FIFA as well. Like we said, maybe it's to enhance the commercial aspect of it and keep the commercial aspect of football alive. But first of all, on the Champions League now, format changes, having 36 teams now, giving the fifth place team in any league a chance to qualify as well. First, it used to be top four, and then, of course, changing a lot of other things. How do you think this will impact the world of football?
Well, I think I got home from Vienna last night from the UEFA Congress where the reforms were passed. I mean, basically, the executive committee rubber-stamped reforms that had kind of been concocted behind closed doors. And I think all of this must be seen in the context of the European Super League, you know, that those 12 clubs tried to launch last year, and which caused a storm across football, across leagues, across clubs, across other stakeholders. I think some of those clubs have never really gotten over the idea that the Super League was not welcomed in football. So they've, behind the scenes, they've tried to, you know, to press on with that idea. And those two additional places based on historical merit, that would have opened the door to a closed shop competition in the Champions League. And I think UEFA did well to scrap that idea and, you know, to keep merit in the game. So in a way, UEFA has conceded terrain to the bigger clubs. In a way, it hasn't. And Ward in Vienna was, and Giorgio Marchetti, the director of competitions, he said it rightly. This is a compromise. It is a compromise to keep everyone happy, to keep UEFA happy, to keep the bigger clubs happy, to keep the fans happy, but also, you know, to allow smaller nations and smaller clubs to still have a chance, you know, to qualify for the Champions League, and so ensure that it doesn't become a closed shop competition.
Well, having a one league system in the initial round instead of going with the previous system, does this become more inclusive and level the playing field for all the teams?
Level the playing field might be a big word, obviously, given that inequality is almost ingrained in European club football. You've got the so-called super clubs, then you've got a few of the old aristocracy like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus. So that inequality is almost ingrained in European football. Now, as to that Swiss league model, it's not about, you know, keeping a level playing field. It's more about, you know, more matches generates more revenue, generates more TV income. So in a way, I think UEFA, and Marchetti said it as well, they haven't really made the projections yet as to how much more revenue all these additional matches will bring, but it is certain to be a financial bonanza for UEFA. So this, you know, this reform is in a way to appease the bigger clubs. Here you've got more matches and you've got more revenue, and I think that's the key point here. The key point is the revenue UEFA and the bigger clubs will get.
Revenue system is truly there, but overall with FIFA and, you know, UEFA as well, things have been quite particular. I mean, the way things were handled regarding Manchester City, their ban, then that was overturned previously. Then, of course, the decision coming up recently in the English Premier League with what happened to Chelsea and their owner being stripped of ownership rights of the club as well. So truly, there are things that need to be addressed on a larger scale when you talk about inclusivity in football.
Yeah, that is very true, and I totally agree with that assessment. But I think that train might have perhaps left the station, to say it with a cliche. I mean, I think when Roman Abramovich acquired Chelsea in 2003, that was the moment that European club football really changed and transformed, because that was the first super club. And then more or less a decade later, Abu Dhabi bought Manchester City, Qatar bought PSG, and that heralded the age of state-owned clubs. So you have got this mix of state-owned clubs and super clubs who wield so much power that I think it is very hard for UEFA and FIFA to a lesser extent to rein those clubs in. Of course, when you launch an idea like the Super League, like they did last year, I think that did still show that UEFA do have power, and that fans and other stakeholders can resist the will of a small, powerful minority. But the way football is evolving, and it's a reflection of society, I would say, is that all the rich hold all the power.
Very true. The rich do hold all the power, and this is, of course, things that need to be addressed. Saminda, thank you very much for joining us on Sports Extra. Always great having you, and I think probably you can relax now. Obviously, you've had a hectic trip as well. Now, that being said, of course, the word is clear that FIFA is going to make these mandatory changes. Club football is going to change. The Champions League, which is the most watched football event when you talk about league football, is definitely going to change with the new system, which clearly highlights a couple of things which are there on record. First of all, the fifth team being given a chance to qualify is huge, because there's always been the talk about the top four. Now it's going to be the top five, and the battle for the top five is going to get more intense. Otherwise, the fifth spot was not up for the grabs as well. And then, of course, the second thing that we see, top 8 qualifying directly to the knockout stages, then 9th to 24th having a chance to play playoffs and qualifier sort of things, and qualify as well. And the third most particular thing that comes to mind when you talk about this Champions League is having a single league system in the first round, which is also very, very particular. But how things will unfold, only time will tell. Moving on now, we did tell you that the Asian Games have been postponed. We've got a report on that. Let's take a look.
The Olympic Council of Asia confirmed that the Asian Games, due to take place in Chinese city of Hangzhou in September, have been postponed indefinitely because of COVID-19. The Games were scheduled to be held from September 10 to 25th, but now have been delayed as China tries to stamp out a large resurgence in infections in several parts of the country. In addition, the Asian Youth Games, which were scheduled to take place in Shantou, China in December, have been cancelled. More than 11,000 athletes from 44 countries were to take part in the 19th Asian Games in September. Hangzhou is about 175 km from Shanghai, where restrictions are in place as authorities try to curb COVID-19 cases, which began spiking again in March. New dates for the Games will be agreed between the authorities and announced in the near future. However, the name and the emblem of the 19th Asian Games will remain unchanged. The World University Games, scheduled to begin next month in Chengdu, are already delayed from last year, are also expected to be postponed.
There you go. The Asian Games have once again been postponed. Now, the threat of COVID-19 hampering sports all around the world is once again looming, and very, very testing time for sports, because we've seen it in the past how sports have been affected on a global scale, and even to an extent where they've been played without fans, it becomes very, very disturbing and frustrating as well. Hopefully things don't turn out to be bad and things improve. That is the hope. Now, before we go, a very special mention here as well. Today marks the 4th death anniversary of Mr. Mansoor Ahmed, the hero of the 1994 Sydney World Cup, our former Pakistan hockey captain and Olympian, who saved the goal against Netherlands to make Pakistan the world champions in 1994 in the Sydney World Cup. 4-3, of course, on penalties, and 4th death anniversary. The entire team of Sports Extra, myself included, PTV World and PTV in general, do pray for the departed soul, that may Allah rest his soul in peace. And of course, very hard to bear this loss with fortitude, but we can always pray for that. But nonetheless, a hero who will be remembered for generations, for times to come, and will never be forgotten. But very particular, how did Sir Mansoor save that goal and make Pakistan the champion of the 1994 World Cup against the Netherlands? We'll take a look at that, but from me and the entire team, it'll be goodbye for now.
और स्पीड में था, अपनी स्पीड से गोलकीपर और बाहर वाला बुलंदर में पाकिस्तान को हॉलैंड डेल्मी नए खिलाड़ी हॉलैंड के अब पाकिस्तान ने जीत लिया आलमी कप। पाकिस्तान आलमी चैंपियन। तलमी की गलत पुश जो कि मंसूर ने बचाई। पाकिस्तान सिडनी में चौथी दफा